I first saw her speak, turn your mind back way back when, to in-person training. She was here in Calgary at the Suncor Center. And she said something that really stuck with me. And she said in her speech at the training, "Let your light shine." I thought about that. And if you've got light, if you have something that you need to communicate and you want to do it better, then there's no better place that I know of than Toastmasters. Our speaker today is one of only 88 people in the entire world who is a Toastmasters accredited speaker. She is one of only 14 women worldwide who is a Toastmasters accredited speaker, and she's one of 4 Canadian women. Please help me welcome with her speech tonight to inspire us, Freddi Doctorum.
Thank you, Doug. And thank you, Airdrie Toastmasters and guests. Today, we're celebrating women in Toastmasters. But quite frankly, I think that everybody in Toastmasters should be celebrated. It's such an interesting history. When I was growing up, my dad had friends that were Toastmasters, and quite honestly, all of these people were old white guys that wore suits. And I had no idea that there was ever going to be a role for women in this organization. I didn't even know there was such a thing as female professional speakers until I was well along in my life. So today I'm going to share with you just some of the thoughts about women in Toastmasters, Toastmasters in general, and I was also asked to share a little bit about my journey to becoming an accredited speaker. Now, for those of you that don't know what that means, I'll tell you in just a moment. So let's take a look at the very first woman Toastmaster. As Doug said in his opening, it was 1973, and a woman by the name of Helen Blanchard became the first female Toastmaster. But Helen had a secret, because actually it was late 1970, early 1971, that she became a member of Toastmasters International, but she had to register under the name of Homer. So Homer Blanchard was a Toastmaster, but it was actually Helen, because at that time women weren't allowed in Toastmasters. Now, why? I've got no idea, but it was an old boys club. But slowly things changed, and in 1973, they were able to welcome Helen Blanchard officially as a Toastmaster. How exciting is that? Helen blazed the trail for many, 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 many women to come behind her. She also led the way for a lot of men. Helen was a remarkable woman, but she was followed by some other remarkable women. So, for example, in Toastmasters every year, they hold what is called the World Championship of Public Speaking. And right now, the local clubs are having their contest for the international speech, and winners go up through the ranks, and they too could potentially become the world champion of public speaking. In 1977, only 4 years after women were allowed into the organization, the first woman, Evelyn Jane, became the world champion of public speaking. How exciting is that? And then only 9 years later, the third Canadian world champion was a woman, Arabella Bengtson. And this snapshot that's showing on the slide, this is a picture of her YouTube video. You can actually go onto YouTube and you can listen to Arabella's presentation. I did that this afternoon. It was pretty darned amazing. But what I couldn't find was a photograph of Evelyn Jane, the first woman world champion. They didn't have video back then, and it doesn't even look like they celebrated with photographs. But women have risen to the top by winning the World Championship of Public Speaking. Well, Toastmasters is a huge organization, and it takes a lot of administration. It takes a lot of staff to run the organization. And here's what's rather fun. In 1985, 1986, guess who was the first woman international president? Helen Blanchard. So not only was she the first woman, but she got engaged and enmeshed and committed to the organization and became the international president in 1985, 1986. There's an amazing book that I encourage you to read. It's called Breaking the Ice. Now think of icebreaker, which is your first speech. It's called Breaking the Ice. And it's the story of Helen Blanchard and her life through Toastmasters. Just an absolutely fascinating read. Well, what else has been going on with women in the wonderful world of Toastmasters? Well, in 2018, the top 3 finishers, third place, second place, and first place in the World Champion of Public Speaking, you guessed it, they were all women. Utterly amazing. That was the first time ever that had happened. Quite often at the world champion level, at the finals level, out of the 10 contestants, there might be 2, maybe 3 women. Well, guess what? In 2018, 3 women placed first, second, and third. Wow. So we've heard a little bit about the first woman, some of the other firsts for women, the world champion, the first Canadian woman world champion, the first 1, 2, 3 finish of world champions. We've heard a little bit about the international president. But in Toastmasters, there's 2 streams. There's the communication and leadership stream for folks to learn their communication skills and to get better at speaking and doing table topics like we just experienced, to develop their leadership skills so they can take that out into the community and their church and their workplace and their family. The other stream in Toastmasters is for professional speakers. Professional speakers also join Toastmasters. When I joined 18 years ago, I was a paid professional speaker. And people have said, well, if you were a professional, why would you join Toastmasters? Well, my response is, why wouldn't I? Because I needed to develop more tools. I love the networking, love the people. And also I can get brilliant feedback and evaluation and observation so that my presentations can just get better and better and better. So as a professional speaker in Toastmasters, I thought it was the best thing ever. It was truly a gift I gave to myself. And I wonder why other people, you don't have to be a professional, but why wouldn't other people give themselves the gift of being the absolute best leader and communicator you can be? I learned about a program for us professional speakers, and it's called the Accredited Speaker Program. In the introduction, Doug mentioned that, yes, there's only 88 of us in the world since 1981, and there's over 4 million people been through the Toastmasters program, so 88 out of 4 million, that's a pretty small group. And 14 women, 4 Canadian women. So it's a rather small group, but what the heck is it? Well, the Accredited Speaker Program is the highest earned speaking designation in the world, and certainly in the Toastmaster world. It took me 12 years to achieve it. And what happens is that you are judged, not evaluated, but you were judged on your performance and delivery at two different levels. And should you succeed, something magical happens. You get to go into the Toastmasters Hall of Fame. Wow. When I started the journey, I had no idea that apart from getting a really nice plaque, of which I am extremely proud, and having the opportunity to have your picture and an article in the Toastmaster magazine, that you would also be inducted into the Toastmaster Hall of Fame. I thought that was kind of cool and a whole bunch of fun. So the accredited speaker program is for folks that have achieved certain requirements in the regular Toastmaster program. You have to be at least halfway through. You send in a video recording of a presentation that you're doing in front of a live audience, not Toastmasters, but in front of a live audience, and this is judged. And it's a pass-fail. You're either in or you're out. And if you pass, then you are invited to come and present live to the international convention. Wow. Imagine speaking in front of the Toastmaster world, between 2,500, 3,000 people in the audience, all of them with their little eagle eyes watching every movement that you make. Oh, did she lift her hand too high? Did she stutter? Did she stumble? Did she say ah? Did she say And the 5 judges are sitting there marking everything on their ballot. And at the end, you either pass or you fail. In 2015, I had the opportunity to speak on the main stage at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Wow, was I scared. That was completely intimidating. And I failed. In front of the world, I failed. I gave myself about an hour to feel kind of miserable and sorry for myself and, shed a few tears. But then I looked at it as a tremendous opportunity. I had discovered that this truly was the goal that I wanted. And so I got serious and started working with a coach and my entire Toastmaster club. Joseph and Ron, who are guests here tonight, they were part of my team that were helping me to craft and deliver and perfect this speech that I was going to give in order to make another shot at it. Vancouver, 2017. Wow. I was kind of nervous, more nervous than usual, because having already experienced the euphoria of presenting to such a large international audience and the crushing defeat and embarrassment of not succeeding, I was really on tenterhooks. So I went all out. And with the help of my fellow Toastmasters and my coach, I put together just an absolute knock them down, drag them out introduction. One of the things we learn in Toastmasters is how to set the stage, and your introduction is so important. Let me show you what my introduction was like in Vancouver.
Before our next speaker is introduced, let's set the stage. For the purpose of this presentation, imagine A, you are Canadian, B, you are 50 to 65 years of age or older. That's a toughie. Yeah. 60, you have been working on your personal financial plan. This presentation consists of selected highlights from hundreds of 6-hour workshops. Let's meet distinguished Toastmaster Freddi, Dr.
Every day in Canada, 1,000 people turn age 65. Two-thirds report that they have a financial plan, but only 15% have a lifestyle plan. Freddi Dogtrum has been helping people plan their futures for more than 30 years. She's a member of 4 professional organizations and is a registered retirement consultant and professional retirement planner. Freddi writes for the Current Trends publication of the Canadian Institute of Financial Planners. Her expertise has been featured in the Globe and Mail, Canada's national newspaper, and she is a guest on radio programs and a popular keynote speaker for meetings and conferences. She helps people on the cusp of retirement create exciting plans for their golden years. Her participants are folks just like you. The purpose of today's presentation is not to provide answers, but to provide a framework to start planning your fulfilling future. Please welcome Freddi Dogtrum, retirement lifestyle planning expert. With your retirement prescription, it takes more than money.
Thank you. That was a whole bunch of fun, I must say. And once I got into the groove, I was excited. And I forgot about the audience. I was just enjoying myself and sharing because I wanted to teach and encourage and motivate people. So this is the presentation that my club and my coach helped me to put together. Could I have done that without the support of my Toastmaster friends? Highly unlikely. I might have been able to cobble something together on my own, but one of the powerful things that I found about Toastmasters is that whole feedback and evaluation mechanism, because feedback is merely somebody giving you their opinion in a moment of time. And the beautiful thing is you can choose to accept it or not, and either way, that's okay. If it's something that works for you and you want to incorporate it, great. And if you choose not to, that's okay too. But feedback and evaluation can really help you to develop exceptional communication skills. Do you have to do presentations at work? For goodness sakes, join Toastmasters, because you will bring pieces of your work to Toastmasters and it'll be refined and made much better. So apart from being in the Hall of Fame, some of the bonuses of being an accredited speaker are I've got my own little piece on the accredited speaker portion of the website. And so folks can get in touch with me and potentially hire me or have me come and speak at events just like this. Another fun thing is that there's an additional website just for accredited speakers where, again, we get to talk about and promote our skills and services. We coach people. We work with folks that are wanting to become professional speakers or professional speakers that are wanting to get into the accredited speaker program. If you're interested, on the Toastmasters International website under the education column, education or membership, can't remember which, but just click on accredited speaker. It's got all of the information there and a little bit about the history and all of the folks that have achieved the designation. So Toastmasters has been particularly good for me. And I like to think that I've been good for Toastmasters as well. During the break, I was chatting with some of the folks that were still on. We were talking about a club called Naturally Speaking, which is a club in Lethbridge that is exclusively for adults with developmental disabilities. It was so awesome working with this club and helping them to get started. I remember one time, this is at the Ability Resource Center, which is a sheltered workshop, and we would meet there on Wednesdays at noon. And so the Toastmasters would come in and we'd have our briefcase and everything, and we'd walk through the work area to the lunchroom. We'd get set up, and then the individuals would come and have their lunch, and we'd have our Toastmaster meeting. The most powerful thing that I saw was one Wednesday as I walked in, and I was walking along through the work area, and a gentleman who had never in his life spoken pointed to me and said, "Toastmasters." That was his first word. The aides were just amazed. The other people that were working on the project with him were just amazed. Is Toastmasters powerful for finding voices? You bet it is. Some of the other members of that astonishing club have gone on to be able to advocate for themselves. They've been able to speak up to funding agencies, to community groups, etc. Toastmasters has helped this group of individuals to truly find their voice. Well, where in the world is Toastmasters? Well, it's obviously in Airdrie and Lethbridge and Williams Lake and some other places. But let's take a look at some of the facts about Toastmasters. Well, because we're celebrating International Women's Day, I thought it was important to have the statistic. In 2020, the last Toastmaster year, they found that there was 54% females and 46% males. I don't do numbers. To me, that looks like half and half, close enough. But they're everywhere. We're in 144 countries around the world. Why is that significant? It's significant because where Toastmasters is growing the fastest is in the emerging economies, where the young people are young, educated, and eager, and they join Toastmasters to help them with their careers. Should North Americans be joining Toastmasters to help with their careers? Absolutely, because globally, these young people are the folks that are competing with us for our jobs. So if they're taking the advantage of getting a leg up through communication and leadership skills in Toastmasters, why the heck are we not doing that? So one of the best career moves that an individual can make, in my opinion, is to join Toastmasters. And while we're talking about that, I take a look and let's see, what is there? There's 15 people right here in this group. How many of you have one or two people on the planet that you actually really, really like? Is there anybody out there that you really, really like? If you really, really like these people, why would you not want the best for them? Why would you not want to help them to be their best? Have you invited them to Toastmasters? Well, if not, why not? I mean, I am famous. I am famous for everywhere that I go. I just talk to people about Toastmasters. I go to the bank and I'm sitting there talking to a lovely young man and I say, Jason, you're kind of young in your career. Have you ever heard of Toastmasters? No, ma'am, I haven't. Well, would you like to be the head of a branch one of these days? Oh, yeah, I'd really like that. Well, would you like to have exceptional communication and leadership skills? Oh, yeah, I guess that would help me with my job. Yeah, why don't you come with me to Toastmasters? Oh, okay, so he came for a couple and then he got transferred out of town. But everywhere that you go, everywhere that you meet people, think about inviting them to Toastmasters. Now, here's something that's really awesome. I'm not going to use the C word, but during this last year, when we've restructured the world around us, Zoom has become Toastmasters' best friend. Doug has come to visit our home club. He can because of Zoom. Catherine and Ron and Joseph from my club are here to support me, courtesy of Zoom. How amazing is that? Well, what has Zoom done for our club? Since the 1st of July, 2020, which is the start of the new Toastmaster year, our club has about 22 new members. This is in addition to the 20-some members that we already had. We have members in Ecuador. We have members in Mexico. We have members in the USA, and we have a member in Kenya. So, do you know anybody around the world that you would like to invite to your Toastmaster club? I mean, Airdrie, Alberta can be the center of the known Toastmaster universe. If you have people that you like, reach out and invite them. Have them zoom by for a visit. It's an absolute hoot. My friend Catherine, that is on the call here, she works at our local Chamber of Commerce. And I don't just invite people from the bank. When I talk to my wonderful friend at the Chamber of Commerce, I say, hey, Catherine, have you ever heard of Toastmasters? Come on, check us out. And guess what? Here she is. So you see how easy it is? Just talk to people that you like, that you'd really want the best for them, and have them come to Toastmasters. Now, where in the world are Toastmasters? Well, if we take a look at this graphic, the dark red has the most clubs, and then the next orange, but take a look over at Southeast Asia and Australia. Look what's going on over there. Those are the third highest density of Toastmaster club. These are emerging markets. These are the young people that are hungry for leadership and communication skills to grow and develop their career. They're the folks that our young people and us are going to be competing against. So obviously somebody somewhere has the secret to Toastmasters. Now, one of the things that I really get excited about is the fact that we have the most amazing online e-learning platform called Pathways. Yes, I know people are still in love with the old pen and paper manuals that you lose and you rip and the dog eats and all of that stuff. People love that. But here's the great thing about Pathways. It's as close as your phone or your tablet or your computer. It's an online e-learning platform. And it is so amazing because you get to learn at your own speed. And not only that, what's really remarkable about Pathways is that you can completely customize and tailor the learning to your needs. Where else can you get that kind of education and support in one of the best organizations in the world? We have Pathways. It's amazing. Toastmasters has a magnificent mentorship program. After you've completed your second level of your path, you can do a 6-month mentorship program that is absolutely remarkable. I'm a distinguished Toastmaster, which means that I've gone through all of the programs, done all of the leadership and communication things in our traditional system. I'm an accredited speaker. That means that I'm a professional speaker in Toastmasters that has gone through the program and achieved success. But you see, I'm also a Pathways proponent. Right now I'm working on 3 paths, and I've just completed level 5 in one of the paths and discovered that it truly is a remarkable, remarkable program. So whether you're a woman or not, I don't think it really matters. Although we're celebrating International Women's Day, I think that every day should be International Toastmasters Day. Because with the communication and leadership skill development, the people you get to meet. So here's, just let me divert for a moment here. We had a young man in our club that was wanting to take over a business that did heating and air conditioning. And I was chatting with him. I was his mentor, and we were talking one day. And I said, have you ever wondered what they do, if they do HVAC differently in, I know, Saudi Arabia or Bahrain or some of those hot places? And he says, well, I hadn't really thought about it, but how would I find out? I go, this is Toastmasters. Wait, there's more. So we went onto the Toastmasters International website. We clicked on Find a Club, and we typed in Qatar. And there's, 75 kabillion clubs or something. There's many, many clubs in Qatar. And I said, here's what you do. We just send an email to one of those clubs and say, hey, I'm in heating and air conditioning in Canada, and I would like to connect with an HVAC expert in your area. 2 days later, he received 3 emails from Qatar from people. I mean, Toastmasters opens the world in many, many ways. So think about your field of expertise or your career or your profession. Would you like to reach out through the world to find people just like you, to find out how they do things? Would you like to connect? Toastmasters can help you with that. My long-term career was in career development, building people. And one day I was attending an event in another country, and one of the women there said, found out that I was in career development, and she texted me and she says, well, I'm in Australia. I'm in career development in the schools in Australia. Can we talk? Sure enough, we set up a Zoom call. Well, it just so happens that one of the members in our club is in career development in the school division. And so I got them talking and connecting. This is amazing. It goes way beyond Lethbridge or Airdrie or Calgary or Alberta. This can open the world to you. Is that exciting? Yes. Do I think every day should be International Toastmasters Day? Yes, I absolutely do. But let's just get back to thinking about women in Toastmasters. This is a graphic that Toastmasters International put out to celebrate some of the amazing women that are also Toastmasters. It talks about Helen Blanchard, talks about the world champion of public speaking. It talks about all of the other remarkable women that are members, that work at world headquarters in Denver, Colorado, all of the women that are supportive of not just the organization, but are supportive of other women. Do I think it's a woman thing? No, I don't. I think it's a human thing. I think it's a people thing. I believe that every day should be International Toastmasters Day. So, shall we celebrate women today? Absolutely. And it's been my pleasure and delight to be here to share some of my thoughts about the most amazing program in the world with you. And I believe that next we are going to have a question and answer period. So I invite you to ask questions. I'm happy to talk about anything. Mr. Toastmaster, Doug, back to you.